Okay. I want y'all to picture yourself lying in a bed. The only thing that y'all can do is you can hear, you can see, and you can blink your eyes. You cannot talk, you cannot chew, you cannot swallow, you cannot turn or make any type of movement. The only way that you get any nourishment is by a tube that's been placed into your stomach. You have to be cared for literally as you would any infant. You have to lie there watching your spouse of 45 years wait on you hand and foot on a day-to-day basis through tired eyes. You think about the nest egg that you put back for retirement and know in your mind that slowly that money that you put back is slowly going away because your loved one has to hire nurse or CNAs to help care for you so that she can get or he can get any time off from caring for you. Is this the way that you want to live? Is this the way that you've envisioned the end of your life? And is this the suffering that you want also for your loved ones? So, I am by no means an expert in this type of situation or in euthanasia, but I found a lot of good information in Unplugged, Reclaiming Our Right to Die in America, and also Let Them Go Free, a guide to withdrawing life support. So this is one of the things that I want y'all to think about as you listen to my speech. We're going to go over some of the definitions of euthanasia. We're going to go over two of the arguments for legalizing euthanasia, and we're going to go over a couple of the arguments against legalizing euthanasia here in the United States. Some of the definitions for euthanasia can be found in Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Voluntary euthanasia is defined as euthanasia where the patient has actually given consent. Involuntary, of course, would be against the will and the consent of the patient. Passive euthanasia is when you withdraw any type of life-sustaining treatments from a patient. And active euthanasia is probably the most argued. It's because you use lethal substances to actually bring about death of a patient. Now that we've gone through some of the definitions of euthanasia, we're going to look at two of the possible arguments for legalizing euthanasia here in the United States. I found some very good information about this in the Death and Dying. It shows opposing views for and against euthanasia. One of the arguments for legalizing euthanasia here in the United States is that it gives the person the right to choose how they want their life to end and when they want it to end. It's possibly one of the most important decisions that you will actually ever make in your life is how you want your life to end. It gives you personal dignity and autonomy. Another reason that is given for legalizing euthanasia here in the United States is that it would give doctors the right to show some compassion for their patients who are terminally ill, who are suffering and wish their life to end, when they believe that their definition of their quality of life is not what they want it to be. It also can have to do with those parents who have children who are born without a brain. They are alive, but they are not living. Or when there are some accidents that happen that end up with people in a permanent, persistent vegetative state, that they are, again, there, but they are not living. So now we've heard the definitions of euthanasia and two of the arguments for possibly legalizing euthanasia here in the United States. Now we're going to go over two of the arguments against legalizing euthanasia here in the United States. Now, The Right to Life organization states that their belief is that we do not have a right to take away the life that the Lord has given us. It also goes against the 6th commandment of the Bible, thou shalt not kill. They believe that people, regardless of suffering or regardless of what you believe a person is feeling or not feeling, that we do not have a right to terminate that person's life, nor do they have a right to terminate their own by committing suicide, even though it could be termed a mercy killing. But we do, in fact, have legalized capital punishment here in the United States. We actually do put people to death for a punishment. The second argument against legalizing euthanasia here in the United States is because they feel that there would be certainly some doctors who would take this into their own hands and play God by possibly killing off some people who are mentally handicapped, physically handicapped, or certainly some people that they might feel, in their opinion, are unwanted, and that they would end those people's lives. Not out of mercy, but out of just their own decisions to end those people's lives. So now that you've heard some arguments for legalizing euthanasia and against legalizing euthanasia and the definitions of euthanasia, I want you to go back and let's revisit yourself lying in that bed. There's nothing that you can do. Your day-to-day life is lying in that bed. And you get to watch your loved one watch you suffer. Shouldn't there be a right to choose and a right to die?